Okay, everybody, welcome to Let It Rip, the return edition. It's been a year since I last recorded, and my apologies to all the subscribers, all the fans. It's really been an aggressive year/2 years. I'm not, real talk, I'm going to go back to 2020. It's been an aggressive time for everybody since 2020. And for me, I just had to take a break, especially after 2021 from recording, just like had to get my mind right, especially with all the social issues that we were dealing with and the personal issues that I was dealing with. So I had to take a break, but I'm back now. And oh my God, we got a lot to talk about, specifically with the Raiders, because I was watching every game. I wasn't recording, but I was watching every game. And last year was one of those years where I was like, this can't be real life. It really can't be. Because off top, we were 3-0, and everybody who knows me is like, I'm thinking Super Bowl. It's easy money. It's all us. The AFC West is our division. And then the whole situation with Henry Ruggs. And I want to really express my condolences to the family of Tina Tintor. And please forgive me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but that was a tragedy that really could have been avoided with the DUI, with Henry Ruggs smashing into her car at I believe it was 156 miles an hour with his fiance, Henry Ruggs' fiance, in the car too. And it's one of those situations where I was really depressed because at the time, Henry Ruggs was only 20 or 21 years old. So he had so much of his life to really plot out. And his fiance too. And Tina Tintor, she had a young, bubbling life as well, because she wasn't even 25 at the time of her death. So it was really a unfortunate situation where he really could have just gotten an Uber or just let somebody else drive the car. So it's really hard, and it's really one of those things where it's not a situation where a person got beat up or a person had a broken bone, like somebody lost their life, and that's really something hard to get over, especially for the family, especially for Henry Ruggs, I'm sure himself. So I really want to express my condolences and my regret for the situation that happened, and I really hope that Henry Ruggs can find a way to evolve from this tragedy and find a way to establish some kind of closure with the family of the victim, and establish closure and healing with his fiance and with himself too, because there's got to be a lot of guilt with that kind of situation. So hopefully he can evolve past his tragedy, and even though he's facing, I believe it's 50 years if he's fully convicted, maybe he can find some way to really reestablish his life and be a better person from this. Because I never want to like define a person by a particular event, whether it be good or bad. Like, it's always got to be the accumulation of events. And this is one event where he made a massive mistake that it cost the ultimate price for a person's life because of his mistake. But hopefully he can learn how to come back from this mistake and make something of his life beyond football. So that's my hope for him. Now, circling back to how it impacted us on a football scale, man, it was really the tip of the iceberg, because at the time I was like, oh wow, we lost a major offensive piece. We lost a major person who has to undergo a whole different transformation. And right after that, good old John Gruden, the whole issue with that. And at the time, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking to myself, when I heard about the emails, I was like, oh, it's not the best look, homophobic remarks, racially insensitive um, um, terms directed at the NFLPA, Demarius Smith, I believe is his name. That was a bad look. But at the time, I was thinking, okay, it's only that happened in 2011, and I was like, okay, that's a long time. Maybe he's evolved since then, because I'm always in a mindset you never want to judge a person solely on something they said 10, 15, 20 years ago, because everybody has a right to change their perspective and evolve their own lens and how they see the world. But then 2 days later, 48 hours, it turns out that it's not just a one-off incident in terms of the email where he sent disparaging remarks for the NFLPA leader. It's that he had these emails from 2011 to 2018. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a whole new ball game. We got to have a whole new dialogue, because I'm doing my mathematicals, and that's like, that was a couple of years ago. That wasn't like the previous decade. This is recent history. So then I'm thinking to myself, oh, we got a whole new ball game. And then he talks about how there shouldn't be female referees, other misogynist things, and then homophobia. And I'm like, wow, Jesus. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, it was a right call for him to actually for him to resign. And just like with Henry Ruggs, you don't want to judge a person solely on, well, in his case, this would be a series of events, but you always want to give the person an opportunity to evolve and learn from their mistakes and engage their introspection and say, okay, maybe this wasn't right here, maybe this wasn't right there. Maybe I can evolve to be a better person. And it also begs the question, how much are we a victim to the ecosystem that we're born into? Because John Gruden isn't a young man. He's got to be in his late 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. So he grew up in a time period where that kind of vernacular and that kind of phrasing was okay. And it's really hard to evolve that kind of modus operandi, especially when it's your home ecosystem. Now, it's not to say it's impossible, but it does beg the question: how much are we a victim of our society? And I think we should take a important look at that and say, okay, that was your society. Now, how do we get you to this point to where it's more socially acceptable in this form of society? And I think that's a question that we have to ask for everybody, not just for John Gruden and people who look like him, but it's got to be for other people who look different from him. How much are they a victim of their society, and how much can we do to help them facilitate a better transition to this form of society that we're in right now? So even though John Gruden made a lot of mistakes over a long period of time, there's still got to be a bridge that we have to give to him, or show, or at least illustrate a pathway that he can follow to be a better person moving forward, and not just keep punishing him for mistakes he made in the past. Now, if he continues to make the same mistakes, that's a whole different ballgame. But I feel it's important for our society that we show people how to be better, as opposed to just shaming them. Now, let's go on to the Damon Arnett situation. Because with the Damon Arnett situation, I saw him at Ohio State because I'm a Badger. I went to University of Wisconsin. I saw him up close. I'm like, oh, dude's a great dude. In terms of the DB, in terms of the position that he played. But we really got to look at where his mindset is in terms of a person, because for him just to brandish weapons and go on social media and talking about very volatile things, and then on top of that to get arrested this year or last year for a suspended license or a suspended license, then you get a warning, and then you get arrested again for still driving under a suspended license. I mean, those are situations where we got to look at the person's mindset and say, okay, what's going on in his life to where he's not seeing all these pitfalls, as opposed to just saying, oh, you're just stupid, you're just a thug, or you're just reckless. Like, we really got to start asking real questions, like, what's going in this man's life to where he doesn't see the danger in his actions. And then on top of that, we lose Damon Arnett. We cut him, first round draft pick, by the way. And the whole season turns into a turmoil. And then we get Rich Bisciotti. I apologize if I'm butchering this man's name. Rich Bisciotti. He does a wonderful job. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, we made the playoffs. Great. Because to overcome all those issues and still be competitive enough to actually make the playoffs, tremendous job. I give credit to the coach, the coaching staff, and I gotta give credit to Derek Carr and a lot of the team captains, because it would have been easy for us to mail it in and say, hey, we suck. It's over. Nothing is going right. Our coaches are racist. One of our top receivers is just made a bonehead mistake. One of our DBs just off the rails. It would have been easy just to mail it in and say, we're done. We didn't do that. And I really appreciate the last year's team for that, because they really showed how they're professionals. And they really showed, on top of that, say, hey, we really have a chance to do something special. Because I don't know how many of you guys watched the playoff game against the Bengals, but they gave the Bengals all the smoke that they could handle. And if it wasn't for a couple plays, we would have been right there, probably in a great chance to beat the Bengals. So last year was a huge testament to mental toughness and brotherhood, because last year was an arduous year, mentally and physically, for everybody in the Raider Nation. So last year, I consider that a success, even though there were a lot of hiccups. Massive success. Now, let's get to the 2022 season opener and us introducing Josh McDaniels and Ziegler as a new coach and GM, respectively. And at first, I wasn't really excited about the whole situation, because I'm like, it's Josh McDaniels. He's a Patriot, Don't really feel too good about the Patriot organization on any level, even though Tom Brady's not there. Still can't get over 2001. And that's just me. I'm okay with that. But I wasn't too excited about that, about the new regime, until they said, we're going to get Davante Adams. And I'm like, oh, finally we get a receiver. Finally we get a free agent that's worth the money and worth the price. Because usually we overreach for free agents, historically. But to get Davante Adams, top 3 receiver in the league, nobody would debate that. I thought that was huge. And then I was on the fence because they traded Ngakoue, and I was like, I don't know, but we got Chandler Jones. I just wish we could have kept Ngakoue, but that's just me. And then trading Trayvon Mullins, I wasn't a fan of that, because I thought he was our best cornerback last year. But when I saw the game against the Chargers, week 1, several things. Off top, I thought the defense was going to be weak this year. It was going to be a huge liability. I thought our linebackers were going to be trash. I thought our DBs were just going to be just utter garbage. And the only shot we had was going to get consistent pressure from Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. I thought that was going to be our only chance. I was completely wrong. Got to give full credit to the defensive coordinator and to all 3 levels of the defense, because the defensive line, I thought, got good pressure. The linebackers weren't the weak spot, and the DBs weren't as suspect as I thought they were, because real talk, The defense kept us in that game. With all the turnovers that we had on offense, we should have been blown out by the Chargers. We really should have been blown out. But the defense kept the game close enough to where we had a chance at the end. And I got to give us full credit for that. Full credit, because if we have a defense that can keep us in the game, as opposed to us having to score 30, 35 points, like Peyton Manning with the Colts years old, we got a shot to do some serious damage in these streets. So I was really encouraged with that, going against a high-powered offense like the Chargers. We kept the game close. Now, my biggest pet peeve with the season opener of 2022, the offense. And I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to give Derek Carr a call because, one, he deserves it. He's done a lot for the Raider Nation. This man has been he's been beyond reproach since he's got here. We've had so many issues in our organization. And since he's been a Raider, he has been above board. Give him full marks. So he deserves a pass. But damn it, Derek Carr, that game, we got to talk about some things. And I'll give you a pass for this reason alone. Davante Adams. I'm not gonna lie, I was excited too when I saw him with the shield, and I saw him when the silver and black. I was like, oh yeah, we got ourselves a real one. And then when I saw him line up, because honestly, I saw the Pivot podcast. I saw it. I was like, oh okay. I saw how Derek Carr was the one who first called you Tay. I saw that part of the clip. I saw how you said, hey, when Derek Carr gives you that look, go, you open, go get it. I saw that. So I'm thinking to myself, I thought it was a video game. I'm like, Davante's open. It don't matter if he's double covered. Give him the ball. And Derek Carr, he followed suit. He was like, hey, look, Davante, you open. Got you. You know, and when you get a shiny new toy, and something that you wanted for so long, you forget about other things. Like, prime example, I loved G.I. Joe when I was growing up, and I always wanted the Storm Shadow and the Snake Eyes double pack G.I. Joe packet. I only saw it once, and I didn't have enough money to get it. And I went to Toys R Us every Saturday and Sunday to get this, to try to find the double packet of Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. Never found it. But I promised myself, if I got it, I would treat it like the Holy Grail. You know, and that's what Derek Carr did. He treated it like the Holy Grail. But he forgot, just like I would forget, I had other G.I. Joe. You know, it's like with PlayStation. When ESPN 2K5 came out, you forget that Madden is actually a football game. You forget that you had to pay $60 to play Madden. You're like, oh, I can play this right here. It's a way better game. It's like when you get, it's like when you go in a candy store, and normally you get the Annihilators for 25 cents off. You get for 25 cents, but then all of a sudden now they got Wildberry Skittles for 10 cents. And you're like, you forget that you like Annihilators. You know? So I get why Derek Carr was forcing the ball to Davante Adams. He forgot that he had Renfro. He forgot that he had Darren Waller. He forgot that he had Josh Jacobs. You know? All these things. He forgot he had Mac Hollins. Like, all these things. All these weapons. He forgot because he had that shiny new number 17. And I get it. I would have done the same thing too. Because mind you, when you were throwing those balls to Davante when he was covered and he wasn't open, I was like, he's open. Throw it. The X receiver is open. Hit X. But this ain't ESPN 2K5. This is the NFL. And you got to have a game plan. There's an ebb and flow to this thing. You can't just throw bombs all day long. You can't just go to one receiver. You got to dink and dunk. You got to throw long bombs. You got to hit intermediate passes. And I don't think Derek Carr did that. I thought he focused too much on having his homeboy Tay out there. And I get that. Now, here's where we got to give him a call. Everybody gets enamored with their new toy. It's only week 1. We weren't going to go 17-0. We're gonna go. I'm probably gonna say 12. We're probably gonna win 12 games this year. But give Derek Carr a call. He deserves a call. I'm not saying he deserves a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 where he gets to shoot the ball and shoot his 2 and get the ball back. He gets a regular foul call. He gets to shoot his 2. And while he's shooting his 2, let's allow him the time to engage his introspection. Say, maybe I shouldn't have just forced the ball to Devontae. Maybe I shouldn't have, try to throw the ball deep all day, every day. Let him have the introspection. Let him watch the film. Let him see how he missed Darren Waller on that crossing route in the red zone. And which, by the way, that's one thing I can't give you a call for, Derek. In the NFL, in the AFC West, where it's going to be really competitive, you can't miss easy throws like that. Especially with a guy like Darren Waller, where he's 6'5", and he's wide open. Lead that man. He's got arm length. Lead that man. Don't throw it back here. Don't have him go back here where the DB is. Lead this man. Lead. Just lead. Yeah, that touchdown could have changed the game. Anyway, it was the first game, and I want to give Derek Carr credit for this because he hadn't played all preseason, got no reps with Devontae, no reps with Renfro, no reps with Waller, no reps with any of the real receivers and running backs in real-time situations. So it's the first game. Let's give him a call. Now, one thing I was really upset with Derek Carr was his scrambling ability and his pocket presence, because I really thought he took a step back. Because last year, one of my biggest pet peeves that he really worked on last year is that his ability to scramble and buy time in the pocket, because Derek Carr is a very athletic dude. But my God, does a dude take more sacks than I've ever seen an athletic dude take. Climb the pocket, buy time. You did a wonderful job of that last year. This year, this first game, dude looked like a deer in headlights. Like, he didn't know where to go. He didn't know how to climb the pocket. He didn't know where his escape options were. It was like nothing. And after the game, I was so frustrated. I was like, why did he take a step back? And then I had to think about it. The dude has a whole new offensive line. The dude has a whole new offensive scheme. The dude has a whole new coach for the umpteenth time. Of course he's going to take a step back, because he has so many different moving parts that he doesn't know. There's no consistency. There's no carryover from last year. So I get why he took a step back in terms of scrambling. So with all that said, I'm hopeful for this week coming up against the Cardinals. Actually, in a couple hours, not this week, but a couple hours, because it's Sunday. So I feel we're gonna have an improved performance against the Cardinals. Last week was just a hard matchup, because I'm not gonna lie, the Chargers, that defense is top notch. Darwin James, Bosa, and Mack. Jesus, them getting Khalil Mack was huge. And I think it's going to pay huge dividends for their defense moving forward down the line. But all in all, good first game against a stout defense. I like where we are. Now, with this game coming against the Cardinals, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be disrespectful. I'm going to be very disrespectful, because we, the Raiders, had a time. We had a whole week to look at what we did wrong. We had a whole time. Derek Carr had a whole week to get his receivers and say, hey, I messed up. I thought Tay was the only receiver we had on the team. There's more receivers. I'm going to spread the ball around. It's going to be a whole buffet. So for me, I'm not even worried about the Cardinals. I'm going to be so disrespectful. It's going to be a walkthrough. And when I be walkthrough, we're probably going to score, 31 points on them? Easy. And I'm going to go how I want to do it. Should I be completely disrespectful to the Cardinals, or should I say, no, I'm going to be disrespectful to them, because they ain't got D-Hop. No, Disrespectful. 31 points, Raiders, to the Cardinals, 17. Yeah. Complete disrespect. Because you know what? The Raiders, we're okay. We had a hiccup, but we're going to show the world how dominant we are against the Cardinals. So, yeah, 31-17, Raiders. Derek Carr, he's going to get back into his groove. He's probably going to, Devontae's going to probably have like 7 catches. Wallace probably going to have 5 to 6. Renfro is going to do his whole third down magic. And Jacobs, you know what? I think we're going to have more of a run game because I feel like at the end of the game, and when I mean the end of the game last week, we got away from the run in the third and fourth quarter. So I think in this game, we're going to be more beholden to the run and say, we're going to run it down your throat. We're going to hit you with a play action pass, and we're going to go over the top. That's how I think we're going to attack the Cardinals. So 31-17, disrespect. Yeah, I'm confident in that. Yeah, no, I'm confident. Yeah, that's all I got, though. So let me know what you guys think about the first game against the Chargers. And let me think, am I being too disrespectful to the Cardinals? Is it going to be more competitive? Or am I right? Am I speaking true truths? Let me know. Anyway, I'm back. It's a pleasure to see you guys. And oh, how could I forget? Super Bowl! We out here. Ooh, don't hit him with that quarter turn. And don't forget, I said what I said with full conviction. The smoothest walk-off in these YouTube streets on a Sunday morning or afternoon, depending on when it's uploads.